And I want to talk about the work of Dr. Susan David on emotional agility, and to make this concept as simple as I can for you, because her essential premise here is that positivity isn't the answer to everything. In fact, her view is, and I think I'm now of this view, is that if we take the kind of lens that says, if I'm only positive about this, the world will be well, it's actually cruel and it's really unfair on yourself. What Susan suggests, and I really buy into, is this idea is that you go to the emotion and accept it for what it is. It is not you, it is information about you. It's data about you from which you can react and respond. So you go to it, you put your values around it, and you work it through. And if it's a negative, sad emotion, it's incredibly useful information for you. But to put it aside and say, no, I should be positive, is just folly, and it doesn't help. If I hear another parent say to me, all I want is for my child to be happy, I may bring up 3 days breakfast. I mean, seriously, is that all you want for your child? Don't you want your child to experience a wide range of emotions so that they become robust, resilient human beings? Now, in leading, the same thing applies. Exactly the same thing applies. So see it in that light, and you'll do it really, really differently. So I just want to give you a little anecdote or story to kind of reinforce this point about agility and to emphasize one of the key learnings that Susan portrays in her work on emotional agility. And this is with a client of mine that I've been working with for some time. She is a CEO, and a very effective CEO, and a really, really good leader. But during her professional life, she had a major disruption. She was accused of something that she didn't do, something that was completely inappropriate, and completely innocent of, and it made the papers. Can you imagine the emotional impact of that? Something that's not true, and you find yourself on the front page of the paper. And it was very, very destructive for her. She came back from that after a lot of help and therapy and self-reflection into another CEO role, and was always effective, but not quite. Was always on the edge of self-doubt and reticence and reluctance, and has this sort of mild terror of being caught out again. And I remember sitting with her one day talking about this and seeing the stress on her face. And I'm hoping that you will not so much attach to this story, but the power of the learning from the story. And I said, what is your primary feeling? What's the thing that's really driving you most? And she said, it's guilt and remorse. And I thought, wow, that's such interesting words, guilt and remorse. So you're still in this land of guilt. And I said, what happens with that? And she said, well, what happens is I beat myself up for feeling guilt and remorse because I know I shouldn't. Now, what you've got there is what's called the emotional double whammy. You've not only got a couple of negative emotions floating about, you're also beating yourself up for feeling those emotions. So it's doubly punitive. And you can imagine how hard it is to escape that. So the work we did was around emotional agility. Don't beat yourself up for feeling like that. Accept that you feel like that, and let's work on that. That's the essence of this.